Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie. I've got 3 little girls. Today, we are all gonna make some crinkle cookies. Valentine's Day crinkle cookies. That's right.
Crinkle cookies.
Yes, and they are so super good. So look in the description box below for the recipe. They are just, I can eat like half a batch in one sitting. They're so good. But the point of today's video is they're gonna help me, and I just wanted to show you how you can involve your preschoolers and toddlers in the kitchen. It's such an important life skill for them. It has math concepts, fine motor, like life skills, all those things. And side note, I got distracted when I was filming with my kids, but this video is in collaboration with lots of other YouTube mamas who are also sharing their Valentine's cookie recipes for Valentine's Day. So if you want more cookie ideas and more recipes, check out the playlist listed in my description. Thank you, Katie, for hosting. So the first thing you want to do when you are cooking with the kiddos is make sure that you have all the ingredients out. So this is everything that these cookies call for. And then another thing you want to do is make sure that they have a way to participate. So we have this step ladder, and I do it backwards so that this railing is behind so that she can't fall backwards. They do make learning stools and learning. We just don't need that at our house. This works totally fine. For Isabel, we just have a little step stool. She's much taller, doesn't need the support now that she's almost 5. Also, it's much easier if you have a written recipe rather than a computer or something that might get, damaged. So I like to have something written. And then finally, I like to have a little fraction puzzle when we're cooking because I think it helps me visually help the kids represent like what we're doing when we do half teaspoon, half cup, that sort of thing. Are you helping today too? Other thing that's always helpful to have around is a napkin. You never know, especially if you're cracking an egg, always helpful. Everyone wants a napkin. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get our dry ingredients in a bowl, okay? So we'll take turns, you got it? We'll take turns. We need 1 whole cup of flour. So, which one would be the whole? Which one represents a whole? Yes, that's exactly right. This is a whole. Yes. No, we need 1 whole cup. Okay. So Isa, you work on the cup of flour. 1 cup of flour. Okay. All right. The next thing is a half cup of cocoa. So a half cup, everybody, is this one. We take 1/2, so you just are getting that much of the cocoa. And then do you see on here, 1/2 is a half. 1/2 is a half. Okay? So kind of as you can see, my 4-year-old here is pretty good about scooping, leveling. She's worked on that. She can kind of do it by herself. Whereas the 2-year-old, I'll kind of fill it up for her and just let her pour. She can help me, like hold my hand. You want to hold my hand and get more? And then she can help me level as well. And you take this, and watch, I'll show you on the first one. You take this and you chop it off. Okay? Take and chop. Okay, you wanna try again? You wanna get a scoopful? Okay, and then you chop. Okay? Take this end. And you chop it off. Good. And then dump it in there.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Oh my gosh.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry. My hands didn't go.
Working with the little ones is definitely a little bit more messy, a little bit more time consuming, but fun nonetheless. Next, we need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Can you find 1 teaspoon of baking soda from your thing?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon. It's the small t, not the lowercase t.
1 teaspoon.
And Juliana,
I found it, Mama.
All
it's
right.
the green one. 1 teaspoon.
Now look, this is 1/4. So this is actually 1/4 of a teaspoon. So if you have a whole, would be all 4 of these. Okay. The green one would actually just be 1.
So
You need something that's gonna be all 4.
it's probably
What does that one say?
1,
1/2. So that would be 2 of them.
So it's
We need one that's 1 whole.
So it must be the blue one.
So it's the blue one. That is right. That's right. So can you work on 1 teaspoon of baking soda?
1.
Yep, and I'll work on 1/8 teaspoon of salt with Juliana. Go.
Just one
Just
scoop.
1, honey. Yes. All right, now we need to mix up this. Do you want to mix up this or do you want to start on this? Juliana will do the other one. Okay, Isabel's gonna mix this with your handy dandy mixer. Juliana and I are gonna start this. So Juliana, can you help me unwrap this butter, please?
Can I
Thank
start?
you. You can start. Get it all mixed up.
Kelly. We're making cookies for
Cool.
Valentine's Day. We're making cookies for Valentine's.
All right.
Here you go. You want to dump it in there for me? Good. All right, so now we need a 1/2 cup of sugar. Remember which one represents a 1/2? That's right. So here we have a whole when it's together, and if we take one out, we have a 1/2. 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup. 1/2. You look at these and you can tell me which one says 1/2. Look at the numbers. 1/2 is what you need to find. That's right. 1/2 cup. Okay, so we're gonna need a 1/2 cup of sugar. How about you scoop, Juliana pours? With the first one.
Yeah.
You need a lot more than that. You need a whole half cup of it. Isabel's scooping it up and then you're gonna pour. Go ahead and level it. Good. Okay, Juliana. Can you pour that in for me? Good work. It's okay, it's okay. So then for the next one, Juliana, you want to help me scoop some brown sugar?
Yeah.
Okay. Help me scoop it up, scoop it up.
Yeah.
Good work. And then we're going to hand it to Isa. And she's going to pour this one in. Okay. So now we're going to mix this up. Can you turn it on to number 2, your H? Okay, so the next thing we need to do is add an egg, and I do let my 4-year-old crack the egg herself, but just a tip, if it goes in here, do it in a little bowl first. That way if you get any shells, you can take them out rather than having to fish them out of here. So Isabel, yep, go ahead and you can start the egg, crack it on in there.
Oh, we got one shell.
It's okay. All right. Good job. Good work. This is what the paper towel is really good for. She really likes to dry her hands off afterward and not have her hands all eggy. And then Juliana, can you pour that in there for me? And then we also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, so I'm gonna help Juliana pour that and then she will dump it in for me. Good work. And then we're gonna mix those together as well. So now it's time to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. For that, I always like to use this little attachment to the KitchenAid. It's like a little thing you can glide, I'll link it. But it just makes it a little bit easier for the littles to add the dry ingredients in without making such a huge mess and getting things everywhere. So I always like to add that to it, and then they can use like a little measuring cup to kind of scoop the dry ingredients in. Just makes a little bit less mess, and I will let them alternate who gets to pour it in so that they both get a turn. Good, and these again. Now that we've got our batter all mixed, it says to beat in some chocolate chips. We're using white chocolate chips in this recipe, even though it calls for regular, just because I think that would be a fun change up for Valentine's Day. Who wants to add the chocolate chips? Ooh, you can help me stir, Hul. I have this one in my arm, so I won't be able to film stirring it up, but I'll show you when we're done. So here is how it looks all mixed, and then we need to put it in the fridge for at least a couple hours. All right, so it has been about 3 to 4 hours now at this point. The dough is all cooled, and I just wanted to take a note and say that cooking with kids or baking with kids is not an all or nothing deal. So they helped me with the whole first part of making the dough. Now, before I call them back in, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out about 90% of this myself, and then call them back in for the last 10% so that they feel like they're still helping, they're getting to do every part, but I don't have to make rolling the dough take an hour and a half. It can just take 10 minutes, you know what I mean? So you can do part of it by yourself, and then they can still come in for the last part so that they still get to participate in everything, but they just don't have to do all of everything, if that makes sense. It'll just make you a little more sane and still involve them in all the aspects. This dough is a little bit like hard, so it's easier for me just to use a spoon to kind of roll this and just eyeball it, because you want about 1.5 tablespoons here. Typically, I would use my cookie like little thingy, but the dough is just a different kind of consistency. It's not ideal for that. So you basically take it, roll it. I did it with my spoon. Here I have a bowl of powdered sugar and sugar mixed, you'll see in the recipe. And then you just roll it around, and you basically have a nice snowball. Then add it to your tray. So I left just enough dough for about 4 more, so each kid could do 2. And I waited until I had just a little bit left to call them back in. And then Isabel went first and she did 2, formed it into a ball and then rolled it in the powdered sugar. And then Juliana did exactly the same thing, formed it into a ball and rolled it into powdered sugar. Once you have all the cookies on your baking tray, you can put them in the oven and set your timer. And after the time has passed, pull them out and let them start to cool. So here is how these babies turned out. They look so good and they smell just absolutely incredible. Now, to make these a little bit more Valentine-y, I am gonna add some red sprinkles. You could use like more fancy Valentine sprinkles, but these are what worked, and I did it when they were a little bit hot still so that they stuck to it. That is all for today. Hope you guys liked this video and enjoy some delicious Valentine cookies. See you next time.